How we doing, Red? Sammy from United People's TV here with a fan's view after going out of the Europa League to Liverpool. Another, over the 90 minutes, disappointing game against Liverpool. Second in 2 weeks after that 2-0 drubbing at Anfield. We had a great first half goal from Martial. We were playing attacking football, and Philippe Coutinho's goal right before half-time sucked the momentum out of the game for us. And in the second half, it was literally all Liverpool. It was flat from as soon as that second half started right until full time. And after the full time whistle, as always, we ask for your views and your opinions on the game. So we're going to run through a few of them now. Thank you for sending them in. One from Lee here at ELH1978. Utter gutless dog shit. Now, as I said, in that first half, I thought United played pretty well. Aside from the fact that Martial scored that penalty, Mata could have scored with his volley that he had. I thought that was quite a good chance. We had Rojo, who also could have scored if it wasn't for a pretty good tackle by Sacco. Rashford had a chance as well. Martial had a chance. We had tons of chances in that first half. They weren't clear-cut chances, but they're chances that we do have the quality to take, and we didn't take them. Now, had Coutinho not scored that goal, and we went into the half at 1-0, players would have come out half-time confident of doing something from the second half, and Liverpool, they were cowering into their shells in that first half. They were a completely different side to the one that beat us 2-0 at Anfield, and Old Trafford was getting behind the players. So had we kept that fucking 1-0 lead at half-time, it may have been a different game altogether, but you could say loads of ifs and buts. And United still had 45 minutes to turn it around. They couldn't do it. As soon as that goal went in and we needed 3, the fans just deflated, and so did the players. They lost it in the second half. Last 15 minutes, we had Fellaini playing as a centre-forward. We had Daley Blind playing as a centre-mid. Everybody lost their head. And it's kind of sad to see. They just gave up. Even if they did need 3, you just never give up against Liverpool. Never. One here from Bob Soucher, at Bob_S. Only one thought, sack him now. Louis van Gaal should have been sacked in December. Not for the first time this season. We have gone 4 games without winning. And would it be a case of if we lose to City on Sunday, it will be the final straw? Louis van Gaal's got so many nails in his coffin right now. He's had nails in his coffin for the past 2-3 months, and nothing has changed, nothing has happened. So I don't know what losing to Liverpool in the Europa League is going to change about that. As much as I'd love it to change this whole situation, it doesn't really. The damage is already done, and just more damage is being done, until Louis van Gaal eventually goes. Because he is going. It's a case of when and not if by this point, which is the most frustrating thing for fans. Because we're just sitting there, we're waiting in limbo for Louis van Gaal to be sacked. Why not just get rid of him? One here from Third House, at Fiedo Dido, I don't know, something like that. We lost the tie last week, again thanks to De Gea. That is in 2 separate points. Yes, we did lose the tie last week. Had we got 1 away goal at Anfield, would have changed the whole scope of things. And again, thanks to David De Gea, we were still in the tie. Coming into this, I think Liverpool could have scored 4 or 5 goals. And again, in that Liverpool game, Coutinho had a cracking shot in that first half. Looked like he was going to score. And De Gea made a fantastic save. I think it should be pointed out that I would have expected David De Gea to do better with Coutinho's actual goal. Just for a man who's always got his angles on point and perfect, he seemed to move his head a bit too much. He seemed to lose track of where he was. It was a very good goal from Coutinho, but I think De Gea could have made it harder. But that's just me being harsh. Probably is. One here from Aravindan, at Aravind Gambit. If Herrera started, then it might have been a completely different story. Our attacks are so predictable. Now, I'm not going to say that one individual would have changed things. Personally, I think Schneiderlin starting would have been a much bigger impact than Herrera starting, because Herrera hasn't been in the best of forms in recent weeks. Yes, it was definitely a miss. I would have much rather seen Schneiderlin and Herrera in that midfield than fucking Fellaini and Carrick, which is the most dog-awful midfield that we've got at the club, and Van Gaal sticking with it. It makes no sense whatsoever. Morgan Schneiderlin has now not been called up to the France squad. Kante's gone in his place, absolutely deserved, because Schneiderlin's not been playing for Man United. And when he has been playing, he hasn't been able to get that rhythm. As a footballer, you need games to really get used to what you're doing. And Van Gaal, for some reason, is not playing Morgan Schneiderlin. There's no logic behind that decision at all. And we lost the game, maybe even before it started yesterday, when you see Schneiderlin on the bench, you see Schweinsteiger on the bench, you see Memphis on the bench. Schweinsteiger might not have been fit to complete 90 minutes, but he was sure enough fit enough to play more than 15 minutes, and you saw it in a frustrated challenge he put in on Lallana. To me, that was him saying, well, I can't fucking do anything now, I may as well get a yellow card. And it was probably more tackles than most United's players put in that night. Another one here from Eminem. He's been on the fence here, saying fuck LVG. It's been fuck LVG for a while now. We become a laughing stock. And it's a case of when and not if, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but will it happen when it becomes mathematically impossible? I say definitely, but I don't get the point of waiting. I really, really don't. Final one here from Krieger at VJ Thoughts in 140. Just as is expected, Pereira will be the new Pogba if this goes on. Joke subs. Yes, we can say Andreas Pereira is not getting much game time, but when you see Morgan Schneiderlin's not getting much game time, Memphis Depay's not getting much game time, I think only one of 6 Van Gaal's new signings started against Liverpool, and we had Schneiderlin on the bench, Schweinsteiger on the bench, Memphis on the bench. That is as indicative as you can possibly get. The Van Gaal hasn't worked out. It just hasn't worked out. No matter which way you try and paint it, no matter which way you try and look at it, injuries, unlucky, X, Y, Z, it hasn't worked out. And the quicker he goes, the better. I think it should be now, but apparently not. Maybe it's a case of waiting for the summer for Mourinho or whoever's going to replace him. And as for the subs, it's typical Van Gaal. You see, we needed 3 goals, so who does he bring on? A left back, a right back, a central midfielder. Yes, we didn't have too many attacking options on that bench, but we still had Memphis Depay. Now, if you're going to buy a man for 25 million, and you're going to be in a game where you need 3 goals, and he scores goals, you bring him on. It's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. You don't bring on 2 fullbacks. But Van Gaal did. And it sort of sums up the mad season that we're having under him. He's lost his way. We've lost our way as fans. We've no idea what Van Gaal is doing with the club now, because it makes no sense whatsoever. So many problems are self-inflicted, like starting Carrick and Fellaini. It doesn't work, Louis. It won't ever work. I've got more pace than Fellaini, and I can't fucking run. I've got more pace than Carrick, and I can't fucking run. Yet there are starting midfielders. And lo and behold, Liverpool won the midfield battle again. And the whole battle overall. Because the players, for that first half, they were on it. They were doing it. And as soon as Coutinho's goal went in, the bubble burst. The bubble never bursts at United. It doesn't matter what happens. You keep going. But we didn't. They deflated. You saw it in their shoulders. Shoulders dropped. Attitude went out the window. And so did the tie. And we went out to Liverpool in the first ever European tie we had against them. And it's just another shitty performance in a shitty season. And now we're heading into the City game this weekend, knowing full well that Aguero could turn blind inside out. Not looking forward to that. Let me know any more of your comments below. As always, thank you everybody for sending them in. Drop a like on the video as always, and subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. And we'll see you soon. Take it easy.